Let's talk about how you read one of these labels, okay? Now, this is in Spanish, so humor me. Most of the words are cognates, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. I'm not getting a kickback from Rembrandt Gourmet Authentic Holland Cheeses, but this is Gouda cheese, and the Mexican government has found it necessary to put excess of sodium from the Secretary of Health. I couldn't care less about sodium, and neither should you unless you have a kidney issue. Again, I'm not a doctor. You need to get with your doctor and find out if he thinks you have a problem with sodium. All right, so let's ignore sodium because it's not a problem. Your kidneys will take care of that if they're working properly. So we have the Declaración Nutrimental, or the nutrition label. So essentially, they talk about the energy content, which according to this whole thing of cheese, which is 1.7 kilos, apparently you have 6,154 calories in this whole block. Now, the energy content for each 100 grams, it's about 3 ounces, all right? So here, 362 calories. Again, who cares? If you're fat adapted and you're eating the proper human diet, calories will take care of themselves in the sense of your body will go ahead and the hormones will work properly and tell you you're full, so stop eating. So we don't care about calories. I haven't worried about calories in 7 months, and I have lost copious amounts of weight. So here's the cool part. Protein, 23 grams, all right? And total fat, 30 grams. If the protein and the fat are more or less equal, you're looking at about 30% protein and 70% fats. Now, proteins are a little less than fats, and I already calculated this. What you do is you take the proteins, 23 times 4, and then you divide that into the 362, or obviously the 362 into the 23 times 4. That'll give you the percentage of proteins. And then since we look a little farther, it said carbohydrates 0. So all you have to really do then is just subtract the proteins. If it says, in this case, it would say 25% protein, so you know you have 75% fat. This is actually a perfect, wonderful food for you to eat. You could eat it in one meal if you wanted to. I don't recommend eating 6,000 calories, but if you wanted to eat maybe a third of this block, that would take care of you. You know, you'd be full and you wouldn't need to eat for a while. So again, I am uninterested in saturated fats because I know I need them, and it has no trans fats. So I don't know, apparently the other fat might be a combination of monounsaturated and polyunsaturated, but again, most of it, looks like 66% of all the fat in this cheese is saturated, which is great. Your body loves that stuff. It'll use it right up almost immediately as fuel, and no added sugars and no fiber. Well, there's not much fiber in milk anyway. So again, the sodium content 673. Now the calcium's interesting here. Unfortunately, as we look down below, I will show you kind of the ingredients and show you why maybe some of this calcium might not be bioavailable. So there are probably better sources of calcium in the sense that your body can actually use it without taking a lot of unneeded steps to assimilate it, all right? So the ingredients, whole milk, and it's pasteurized. Well, right away, that pretty much destroys anything the milk had to offer. So that's just how that goes. As a matter of fact, you don't really need to pasteurize milk when you're making cheese because you're going to add bacteria anyway. See, right after the salt, they say lactic bacteria, essentially, and a microbial cuajo. So they're going to add the enzymes and the bacteria necessary to essentially rot this milk anyway, which is all cheese really is. It's rotten milk. Rotten in the sense of it's been infected with a bacteria, in this case lactic bacteria. So again, to actually pasteurize it and then reinfect it makes no sense. Just take it right out of the cow, scrape the fat layer off if that's what you need to, or you can just kind of mix it in there, and then just go ahead and add your salt and add your bacteria. Or just let the cheese go where the cheese is going to go. The lactic bacteria are very powerful. They are king of the hill. They will take care of just about everything. They will acidify it. They'll also give you a nice landing pad for some beneficial yeast, which is loaded with vitamin B1. So anyway, contiene the contents here. It has butyric grease. Okay, butyric, literally butter. So the minimum amount is 25%. So this thing's loaded with the fats that would be contained in butter. And then the protein, minimum protein is 23%. But the maximum amount of water, humedad, is 45%. So this stuff is like, wow. This is probably the best cheese you can eat. It seems extremely natural, minimally processed. Again, unfortunately, they did deal with the pasteurization process. But again, I don't understand why taking a ferment product, cleansing it, stripping it of all of its nutrients and chemicals, and then reinfecting it. But, you know, they know better than I. The point is, this is an extremely good food for you. You mix this with an egg omelet and maybe some ground beef or a steak, steak and eggs, and use this for the omelet. You're in high cotton. This is great stuff. So anyway, that's how I read these labels. You should do the same thing. You're putting it into your body. You should know what the heck it is. We'll talk soon. Bye.